So what do you get when you purchase a Power Hour training module? Well, what you don't get is an e-learning package. Power Hour is all about delivering that live bite-sized session for people. So let me quickly take you through what you will get every time you purchase one of our sessions. I've got the Delegate one here as an example. It's fairly typical of what you might get. So firstly, you will get a session leader's guide. So this is where all the detail is to tell you how to run that session. It's not a script, so you are expected to use your own words, but it does describe in detail what this session should cover. Now, this Delegate one, bearing in mind it's a 1 hour session that has optional material that will take it up to 2 hours. So there's an hour's worth of optional material in here. This is 9 pages long. Now, the first page is just, this is what it's all about. The second page, you probably can't see the detail, is about what preparation you need to do, how to use the guide, and other topics that may be useful. Then we go into the detailed session plan. So it's written very detailed, so you know exactly what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it. It gives examples for questions you might ask in the discussions. It gives you examples of what you ought to be looking for when you're debriefing an activity. So you don't have to mind read at all, it's all there. And in every Power Hour session, you've got the white sections, which are the core session, and then the grey sections are the optional bits. So when I said before, this session can be turned into a 2 hour module, that's if you include these grey bits. Now, the optional sections tend to be either a deeper dive into something that has been covered, or it's a related theory or subject that you might want to go into if you want to, and if you've got the time. So that's the first thing you get. The second thing you get is a delegate workbook. So these, again, are very detailed. This is a 9-page delegate workbook. So this is what supports the session and what you can use to hand out to your delegates if you want to. So all the detail is in here. Increasingly, people are using these workbooks and just leaving them as digital so people can download them if they want to, rather than printing them off and using them in the session. But the intention is you can use it either way. So the delegate workbook has the objectives in it, lots of white space. It has the core content. So anything that is in that core 1 hour content will be reflected in this delegate workbook. So the idea is that with it being a short session, we want people fully engaged. We want them doing the activities, we want them engaging in the discussions, we don't want them copying notes down. So all the detail is here for them. And there's often little spaces for people to make notes if they want to, and occasionally little exercises to do. Again, that's an exercise that would be included in the main session. If it's an optional session, we support that through handouts. So this one, for example, is a handout on the skill will matrix. So this is supporting an extra 15 or 20 minutes in the session if you wanted to go through the skill will matrix as a tool to help you to delegate. You use that as a handout. The reason that's on a handout rather than in the workbook is if you choose not to cover that and it's included in the workbook, people are quite rightly going to say, well, we didn't cover that, why didn't we cover it? So this gives you, as the trainer, a lot more control over your session. And of course, it gives you the option to supplement it with things of your own as well. There are slides I've just printed off. What you get, it's not a slide-driven module. The whole idea with Power Hour is that it is active, so it's very discussion and activity based, but we do have a few slides just to help hang the session on if you create those hooks. So in the delegate module, we've got 10 slides there, and I don't know if you can see, the detail isn't on these, so that's why I offer my slides as a free download, because that does not tell you how to run the session. It doesn't give you the core content. They are there as prompts. All of the detail is in the session leader's guide and the delegate workbook. So all the optional things, supported with handouts. If we have a card sort exercise, they are provided as well. Obviously you need to print them and cut them yourself. But anything like that is provided. Obviously the physical resources that you need. So for example, let's say you need to have, I don't know, a piece of string or some counters or something like that. That will be explained in the session leader's guide, but you will need to get that yourself because this is just a downloadable product. And the last thing that you get is a double-sided key point sheet. So this is the main bit, if you like, the real core essence of that session that people can take away and keep on the desks. They can refer to it very easily. You can put it on the intranet or whatever. So maybe you would hand this out as the summary handout at the end and make the delegate workbook downloadable for those who wanted it. So that is what you get with your money. So now you know. I hope that gives you a little bit more confidence to buy the training materials.